Day 37, Wednesday, always a great day at the radio station because that's when the Jackson McCoy podcast drops, talking Buckeyes. Stanley is here, my friend. Put your phone down. I know you got your notes on. What are we talking about today? Because you're always fired up. Last week, you got people so upset about your Minnesota talk. And look at what they did and where they are today. You're feeling pretty good about it, aren't you?
I think they're still getting hammered.
Yeah.
I think they still got robbed, but you know what? They'll earn their way if they continue to win. I just think most people don't really watch enough football. And I get it because you can't. That's not your job. But Minnesota's a good football team. They deserve to be higher, by the way. It's too many one-loss teams ranked over them. All they've done is beat every team that's in front of them.
Right.
It's not their fault some of those teams are bad football teams.
Right. So it's all you can do. It's just like Alabama. Alabama beat everybody till...
So they played a
LSU
at home.
Should Alabama have fallen farther than fifth?
Of course they should have fallen further than fifth. Who have they played to keep them in position other than the fact that they've been in the playoff every year?
They have zero quality wins in terms. No team ranked. They have not beaten anybody that's ranked.
I mean, Penn State lost to a ranked team and fell more spots than Alabama did.
Because Alabama played the number one team.
Well, number two team at the time.
Well, yeah, and played a close game.
Yeah. So the fact that Minnesota was underranked hurts Penn State.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with you on this because I think they should have fallen a little further.
Yeah,
Although
I
do think, let me just be honest with you. I do think Alabama is legitimate talent-wise, has an opportunity to be a playoff team.
Alabama's defense.
However, their resume to me doesn't stack up to where
resume.
it is.
The eye test doesn't stack up.
Their defense is not very good.
Their defense is giving up almost 8 yards per play.
Yeah.
8 yards per play. What's good about that?
Yeah.
By the way, this is what the committee does, okay? So they do things subtly to boister other teams. So Georgia lost to who?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Did you see what South Carolina did this weekend?
I know where you're going. South Carolina lost to App State.
Guess who's ranked all of a sudden?
App State is 25th. Yes.
So because South Carolina's not that bad. They beat Georgia, and guess who still has to play South Carolina?
Yeah.
Clemson,
right? Alabama. Doesn't Alabama still have to play them too?
They might too. Clemson plays them though at the end of the season.
And South Carolina's horrible. They're a
not very
bad
good.
football
They're
team.
Not, no.
App State is 8-1, and now they're ranked.
So they have
Indiana would mop App State. Would mop them.
Here we go with the Indiana stuff again. There were people yesterday that were getting all upset, Ohio State fans, that Indiana was not ranked, nor were they considered, it sounded like, when the committee talked about it afterwards.
Weren't even considered.
Because the thought is, like, if Indiana was ranked, that would be another ranked win for Ohio State.
Yes.
But Indiana doesn't deserve to be ranked, Stan. They just don't.
Do they deserve to be more ranked than App State, though?
Here's App State's schedule.
I don't disagree with that. App State shouldn't be ranked.
Okay.
I don't even know who ETSU is.
East Tennessee State.
Charlotte, North Carolina, who's horrible, Central Carolina, Louisiana, UL Monroe, South Alabama. They lost to Georgia Southern, for God's sake.
Yes.
I mean, what are we talking about, Matt?
I'm with you on that. I don't disagree with you there. But Ohio State fans that wanted Indiana ranked because it would bolster Ohio State's resume, Indiana this week plays Penn State. If Indiana beats Penn State, guess what? They're going to be ranked. But you don't want them to beat Penn State. You want Penn State to be a top 10. Beating a top 10 Penn State would be better than having an extra ranked team in the 20s.
It would, because you want to be ranked number one.
More of this as we continue. Got to get to traffic and weather right now. So much fun when Stanley and Matt are in here. Podcast is going to drop a little bit later this morning. Germain Toyota brings that to you. Stanley, you're just incredulous. I mean, some of these guys that are making the top 25 now, I mean, you're looking at, was it Navy?
Navy
is it?
Navy. Their schedule is unbelievable, by the way.
Hey, Navy plays Notre Dame this weekend. They might beat them.
Okay.
Because Notre Dame isn't any good. But up to now, Navy has beat Holy Cross, East Carolina. They lost to Memphis. They beat Air Force, Tulsa, USF. They beat Tulane. Oh, they beat the mighty UConn.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking
in basketball,
about?
That's something.
Let me
just
say this. I get what you're saying. But you so contradict yourself because you're saying Indiana should be ranked, and I could go through Indiana's schedule and say, who the hell have they beaten?
No,
because they haven't beaten anybody.
Your argument is that Indiana hasn't beaten anybody.
And they haven't.
And what I'm telling you is I can give you a number of teams who also haven't beaten anybody that are ranked above them.
Yeah.
The difference is Indiana plays in a Power 5 conference. So teams that they beat, or at least are Power 5,
do you
they're
think
not
Indiana,
teams you've never heard of.
Do you think Indiana would beat Navy?
I think Indiana would beat Navy. I think they'd beat App State. I know they beat K-State. I think Indiana would beat Cincinnati. I think Indiana would beat Notre Dame.
They would not
K-State's
beat
got
K-State.
3 losses. Why? Because they beat Oklahoma?
Because they're playing better teams than Indiana's played. I hate this because it sounds like I'm bashing Indiana.
You are bashing Indiana.
I grew up in Indiana.
And you're
They're
bashing
having a great year for them. They are. And it's awesome.
Okay.
But they're not worthy of being ranked.
Okay,
really,
wait. Let's pull it back to Ohio State. Let's redirect,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Because I feel the tensions, and I'd like to hear it on the podcast. Let's talk a little Chase Young. Let's talk about Ohio State. What do we know about Chase Young right now? Is he coming back? Do we care if he comes back? Do we not need him? Does it matter if he's back for Penn State?
Ryan Day said that he's practicing, that they're still waiting to hear from the NCAA. There have been various reports. Some, the Toledo Blade, Kyle Rowland there, said that they're expecting it to just be one game and that'll be back this week. Others have said it could be up to 4 games.
Yeah.
I would say this, Stan, that without, of course you want Chase Young to play. Of course you do. Against Penn State and Michigan. I still think Ohio State's better than those two teams without him.
By 3
you?
touchdowns, both of them. As long as you don't kill yourself, as long as you don't turn the football over, as long as there are no other injuries, you'll beat every team on your schedule so far by at least 3 touchdowns.
And there's no reason to think they will turn. I mean, they haven't turned the ball over.
No.
I mean, they've been looking great.
Justin got close a couple times last week.
But I mean, close is different than a turnover.
Right.
Close is
Not
close.
shoes and hand grenades.
There you go.
I'll say this. There's only one team in the country right now that gives me a little concern that maybe can beat Ohio State without Chase Young. That's Clemson. Alabama can't beat them. LSU can't beat them.
Really?
No, their defenses aren't good enough. They're just, I mean, the last time I watched the team in the top 3 give up 40-plus points and go on to bowl games, you remember that?
Yeah.
Remember 1 and 2, Ohio State and Michigan? Yeah, Florida taught us that we didn't play defense, and USC taught Michigan they didn't play defense. Yeah. And when I watch LSU and Alabama, that's what I feel about them. You can score points, but so can we. Your defenses aren't good enough. Clemson's the one team. Defensively, they're pretty good, and they've got weapons on offense. They're the key to them is how well Trevor Lawrence plays, and he's been up and down all year long. Other than that, we could beat any team in the country right now without Chase Young.
Yeah, so that's the thing, though. Then if he's gone 2, he's gone 4, is it disruptive then when he comes back on the squad?
No, it's not because of how they play those guys. They rotate them anyway. And now we've got younger guys having an opportunity to play more. We had 11 tackles for loss last weekend, 7 sacks.
7 sacks is a season high, and they did it without Chase Young.
Beautiful.
So I think it just shows the depth that they have up there. Other guys stepped up. So now when Chase comes back and he does what he does, this team is dangerous.
Do you think, the NCAA rule is the NCAA rule? I think we all agree that it's outdated. But it sounds like he did break a rule. Did Ohio State? There's a lot of discussion that Ohio State shouldn't have suspended him. At least I see it. That hey, he paid the loan back. I feel like Ohio State did the right thing. Compliance. They're taking care of the program. Do you agree?
Yeah, they had to. Number one, football is different than basketball. You see what Penny Hardaway is doing?
Yeah, they're giving the middle finger. So, Joel, if you don't know, and fans that may not be following college basketball, James Weissman is the projected number 1 pick in the NBA draft. He was declared ineligible, dealing with Penny Hardaway paying for him to move. Penny Hardaway's the coach at Memphis back when he was in high school.
Right.
And Memphis basically gave the middle finger to the NCAA and said, we're playing him. They got a court injunction to allow him to play.
Which could change college sports.
And the NCAA said, you can play him, but we think he's ineligible.
And they're saying he's ineligible because when Penny Hardaway was a high school coach, he helped the family move to where Penny was coaching. And then the NCAA is saying Penny Hardaway became a booster when he gave Memphis $1 million to build a sports complex.
And now he's the head coach there,
he's the head coach. So and they're saying, you know what? So what? We're playing him.
Yeah.
In basketball, you can do that, right? Especially at Memphis. You can sort of do that, Penny Hardaway. I mean, players may flock to play for him. But in football, if you vacate a game, you're in trouble. You can be out. So Ohio State had to err on the side of caution. I'm not sure that he did anything wrong, quite frankly. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see for sure. We're going to wait and hear the podcast. It drops later today. These two guys, rock stars when it comes to the Buckeyes. You'll hear it all. Go to the podcast page at 610WTVN.com.